Let's go. Batter up. We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a ball game today. The fans are out to get a ticket or two. From Walla Walla, Washington to Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a home run. But even a triple's okay. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today. Batter up, break one. The game has just begun and the home team's out to win.
Minnesota, northernmost sector of Major League Baseball, with its twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. It's the land of 10,000 lakes, from one of which rises the mighty Mississippi that flows on through the twin cities. But neither the Mississippi nor longtime rivalry could keep the twin cities apart once a baseball franchise became a possibility. A new stadium was built by joint effort. And then in 1961, baseball was welcomed by Minnesota with such boundless enthusiasm that in the first 5 years, the Twins have drawn nearly 7 million fans. Here's one of their slugging heroes, Harmon Killebrew. Followed by Zoilo Versalles, the Twins' brilliant shortstop. Their World Series foes, the Dodgers, warm up leisurely. The Dodgers present the first switch-hitting infield ever seen in a World Series. Wes Parker, Maury Will, Jim Lefevre, and Jim Gilliam. Commissioner Ford Frick, who has led baseball through 14 successful years, is presiding at his last World Series before retiring from the game. Walter Alston is a familiar World Series figure after piloting the Dodgers to 5 pennants. But for manager Sam Mealy of Minnesota, it's the first World Series appearance of any sort. Don Drysdale, Dodgers starting pitcher, never misses a turn at bat. Jim Mudcat Grant, who will start for the Twins, is completely relaxed as he talks with reporters. The Twins whirl through infield practice in their final loosening up exercises. Manager Mealy and Dodger captain Maury Wills join the umpire huddle. Vice President Hubert Humphrey throws out the first ball. He'll be cheering for the Twins. And the color guard comes to attention for the flag-raising ceremonies. And there go the Twins onto the field. Mudcat Grant takes his final warm-up pitches, and the stage is set for the opening of the 1965 World Series. Maury Wills looks at the first pitch, and it's a strike. After fouling off 2 pitches, Wills is called out on strikes, and the Minnesota crowd loves it. In the Dodgers' second, Ron Fairley rips into a 3-2 pitch. Tony Oliva races back to the fence. But it's in there for a home run. The first Ron has ever hit in 3 World Series. Harmon Killebrew talks with Grant, while Alston and the Dodgers congratulate Fairley. Don Mincher steps up in the Minnesota second, and the count is 1-1. The huge Twins first baseman connects solidly with all his power. Fairley looks on from the other end this time as the ball sails high into the bleachers. It's a 400-footer for Big Don, and the score is all even at 1-1. In the Twins' third, Frank Quillisi lashes one past Gilliam with umpire Ed Sudol right there to make the call. The ball finally caroms off the corner of the stands for a double. That brings Grant to the plate. Drysdale checks the runner at second. Grant lays down a bunt. Drysdale's bad knee gives way momentarily, and he falls while fielding the ball. But he recovers, gets off a throw. It's short and bounces once into the hands of Jim Lefevre. He's out. No. Umpire Venzen sees Lefevre isn't in control of the ball. Grant is safe. Quillisi has moved to third on the play. Zoilo Versailles looks for a sign. Drysdale pitches, and Versailles gets around on this one. He pulls it down the line. It's another home run. Versailles, key man all year for the Twins, scores behind Quillisi and Grant. And Minnesota leads 4-1. Gilliam talks with Drysdale, while Alston looks out of the dugout. Drysdale faces Sandy Valdespino next. And the chunky outfielder smashes the first pitch into the right field corner and races to second base for a stand-up double. With the bases loaded and 2 outs following Killebrew's single and Mincher's walk, Drysdale is confronted by Earl Batty. The burly catcher lifts a pop fly into short right. It drops for a hit, and Valdespino and Killebrew both score. At this point, manager Alston is getting a bit concerned. On Drysdale's first pitch, Quillisi singles to right for his second hit of the inning. And Mincher scores to make it 7-1. Drysdale departs from the ball game. Going into the Dodger 8th, the Twins lead 8-1. With 1 away, Grant faces Fairley once more. And again, Ron hammers one deep to right. But Oliva sprints along the fence and pulls it down. In the 9th, Grant has 1 out with Parker on first and Lefevre on third. Don LeJohn is up as a pinch hitter. Grant, eager to go all the way, whips a third strike past LeJohn. Now Grant is only 1 out away from victory. Maury Wills drags a beautiful bunt down the first base line. Grant makes a fine play on the ball, but Wills beats it out, and Lefevre scores. Jim now must try for that final out with Gilliam at bat. He gets it when Gilliam flies to Valdespino, and Minnesota wins 8-2. Killebrew leads the rush of the Twins to congratulate Grant. The Mudcats scattered 10 hits to vanquish Drysdale. But he had to share honors with Versailles, who drove in 4 runs, and Oliva, who set a new series record for right fielders with 9 putouts. Bob Allison made a sensational catch on Jim Lefevre's drive down the left field line in the 5th inning of the 2nd game for the key play in a 5-1 victory by Jim Cott over Sandy Koufax. It gave the Twins a 2-0 lead as the World Series shifted to Los Angeles. The exterior of Dodger Stadium is beautiful. Being back home, the players' spirits seem to rise. Their brilliant captain, Maury Wills, leads off the batting practice. A couple of Twins take some home movies. Wes Parker, youthful Dodger first baseman, takes a few swings. American League President Joe Cronin and his wife beam happily. And why not, after 2 victories by the Twins? Camilo Pascual will try to make it 3 straight for Minnesota. Claude Osteen is Alston's choice to get the Dodgers back in contention. Dodger Stadium, one of baseball's most impressive structures, with its many-tiered, multicolored stands. The color guard marches into center field for the flag-raising ceremonies, and the fans and players come to attention. All eyes then are focused on the scene behind the plate, where Casey Stengel throws out the first ball. The Dodgers take the field, faced with a must game. And their fans fervently hope they can turn the tide. In the Dodger fourth, the game still is scoreless as Fairley leads off the inning. Pasquale takes his big windup, cuts loose, and Ron smashes the ball just inches inside third base. And he pulls up at second with a double. Now, with runners on first and third, Wes Parker is the batter. Parker draws a walk, and Batty tries to pick Fairley off third, but misses. Parker's walk fills the bases with only one out, and Pasquale is in trouble. Pasquale faces Roseboro, who singles, and Fairley comes on home. Also heading for the plate is Jim Lefebvre, who scores standing up, and the Dodgers are out in front 2-0. In the Dodger fifth, Batty huddles with Pasquale. The National Leaguers have a man in scoring position again. Willie Davis is on second with Lou Johnson at bat. Pasquale comes to a set position, delivers, and Johnson drives the ball into the left center alley. It's a double, and Davis scores easily. The Los Angeles Dodgers now lead 3-0 in 5 innings. Jim Merritt takes over the Minnesota pitching in the Dodgers sixth. Wes Parker wraps a single into center field. With Parker on second and 2 out, Wills hits to right center. And Joe Nossick misses on a diving catch. Parker legs it home with the 4th run for the Dodgers. And for Morey, it's a double. Merritt, checking the runner at second, suddenly whirls and fires the ball. And they pick Wills off with Quillisi slapping the ball on him. Morey doesn't like it. And Alston in the dugout has the what happened look. In the Dodgers seventh, Davis lifts a foul near the visiting dugout. Don Mincher gives chase. So does Batty. With eyes turned skyward, wham! He strikes the railing with his neck. Batty is knocked to his knees and can't continue. Jerry Zimmerman replaces him and talks with Merritt. With 2 away, Fairley hits deep to left center. Joe Nossick races back and makes a fine one-handed catch to retire the side. In the Dodger eighth, Johnson is called out, attempting to steal second. Lou objects loudly, but not long. Osteen still has a shutout going into the ninth. Oliva is on first with 1 out when Zimmerman approaches the plate. Everyone is alert as Osteen strains to preserve his shutout. Osteen checks the runner, pitches, and Zimmerman hits a high bouncer straight at Wills. Morey steps on second, fires to first, and it's a double play. The Dodgers win 4-0, and Claude Osteen is the man of the hour in Los Angeles. The slender lefty hurled a 5-hitter to break the momentum of the Twins. Baseline speed gave Los Angeles an early lead in the 4th game, and the Dodgers won it handily 7-2, behind superb 5-hit pitching by Don Drysdale. It evened the series at 2 victories each. Ron Fairley, hitting well so far, tries to keep in the groove. Don Drysdale has reason to smile after his brilliant performance yesterday. Tony Oliva, the American League batting champion, sharpens up his stroke. Cal Griffith, Minnesota Twins president, has done a tremendous job building the Twins into a pennant winner. Jim Cott, the massive Minnesota southpaw, begins warming up. And his opponent once again will be Mr. K of the Dodgers, Sandy Koufax. Wills and manager Mealy bring the lineup cards to the umpire's huddle. Several hundred sports writers from this country and even from overseas cover the colorful action. This is the last 1965 series game in Dodger Stadium, and the fans are out in force. Maury Wills leads off in the Dodger first. Jim Cott makes one too good, and Maury drives the ball down the right field line. It bounces into the stands for a ground rule double. Gilliam, reactivated this spring by the Dodgers after being a coach, is the next hitter. Gilliam picks on a pitch from Jim Cott and smashes the ball into right field for a single. Wills slides into the plate with the first Dodger run. Davis lays down a sacrifice bunt, and Killebrew fires to first base, but the ball goes through Quillis's hand. Then Gilliam scores from first. It's a quick 2-0 lead for Los Angeles. In the Dodgers' second inning, Dick Tracewski lashes a hard smash to deep short. And Versailles makes a spectacular backhanded stop on the ball. He's back on the grass, but he gets off a strong throw. The ball seems to be there in time for the out. But umpire Vargo calls Tracewski safe because Mincher's foot was off the bag. Swifty Lou Johnson scores in the Los Angeles third as the Dodgers add 2 more runs and pull out to a 4-0 lead. In the Dodger fourth with 1 run home, Davis tries to steal second. Willie stumbles and falls far short of the bag. So he starts an Australian crawl. Or perhaps it's a Davis land paddle. But he gets there, and safely, too. Sandy Koufax is pitching hitless ball as Harmon Killebrew comes to bat in the 5th. Koufax pitches, and Killebrew lifts a pop fly into short center. Davis dives for it, but can't hold the ball. It's a single and the end of the no-hitter. John Kennedy is at third for Los Angeles in the Twin 7th when Koufax starts out by fanning Versailles. Joe Nossick manages to meet the ball, and Kennedy can't reach it. But Will speeds across and makes a backhanded stop. Maury cuts loose with a strong and accurate throw to first base. The play is close, very close. But umpire Vargo calls Nossick safe, and it's the second hit off Koufax. With Nossick on first, Koufax fans Oliva for his 9th strikeout of the game. With 2 men on in the Dodgers 7th, Koufax singles off Jim Perry and fairly scores. Wills is next for Perry and hits through the middle. Joe Nossick juggles the ball, but it is no factor as Roseboro scores easily, and the Dodgers pull away 7-0. In the Twins' 8th, with Allison on first and 1 out, Mincher hits towards short. Wills goes far to his left, grabs the ball, and while on the dead run, flips it perfectly to Tracewski at second base. Dick leaps up, and while high in the air, gets off a pivot throw to complete a fantastic double play. In the ninth, there are 2 on with 1 out, following singles by Quillisi and Valdespino. Koufax takes a look at second, pitches, and Nosek whistles a liner to short. Will spears it and tosses to Dick Tracewski, who races over to cover second. It nips Frank Quillisi off the bag for a double play that puts a sudden end to the inning and the game. The Dodgers win 7-0 and take a 3-2 lead in the series. Willie Davis tied Honus Wagner's record with 3 stolen bases, and Wills tied another with 4 hits. But it was Sandy Koufax who showed the way. He fanned 10, allowed only 4 hits. He was simply invincible. Maury Wills and Willie Davis certainly seem completely relaxed. Bob Allison insists things will be different now that the Twins are back home. Starting pitchers Jim Grant and Claude Osteen pose for photographers. Owner Walter O'Malley of the Dodgers and his wife beam with happiness. After all, the Dodgers have just won 3 straight. Baseball's tremendous appeal is evidenced again with a Minnesota crowd of 49,578. In the Twins first, with Versailles on, Nosek hits back to Claude Osteen. The Dodger lefty whirls and fires to second. Wills steps on the bag and makes his pivot throw while leaping through the air like a ballet dancer. And it's a double play, checking the first Minnesota threat. In the top of the 4th, it's still a scoreless tie. Batty is on first base in the Twins' 4th when Allison approaches the plate and looks toward Coach Martin. Bob Allison levels his bat. And there it goes, into the left field stand. Allison circles the bases in such joyful haste he almost catches up with Batty as he rounds third. Bob is welcomed at the plate by Batty, and Mincher adds his congratulations. In the Minnesota 6th, Howie Reed comes in to pitch for Los Angeles. Wes Parker gets set at first base. Earl Batty leads off and hits a shot down the line. Parker, with split-second reaction, makes a dazzling backhanded stop and then sprawls across the foul line. But the Dodger rookie calmly gets to his knees and throws perfectly to Reed covering the bag, and Batty is out. With 2 out and Allison on second, Quillisi is purposely passed. That brings Grant to the plate, and Martin urges him on. Jim Grant steps into the box, gets set, and then rips into the first pitch. It's back, way back for a home run. The only other American League pitcher ever to hit a World Series home run was Jim Bagby of the 1920 Cleveland Indians, oddly enough, against the Brooklyn Dodgers. The Mudcat still is on cloud 9, coming around to score. His 3-run homer builds the lead to 5-0. The Twins take the field in the 7th. Fairley leads off, and he really gets a hold of one. It sails into the bullpen. That's the 2nd homer of the series for Ron, who has been the most consistent Dodger hitter as well as the most productive one, with 6 runs batted in so far. Grant goes into the 9th with a 5-1 lead. After he retires the first 2, Johnson singles to left to keep the Dodgers alive. Grant still needs another out. And the next man he faces is Wes Parker. Grant fires once more, and Parker grounds to Quillisi for an easy out. Minnesota wins, and the series is tied at 3-all. The Twins mob the Mudcats, who not only pitched a superb six-hitter with only 2 days rest, but put the game away with a 3-run homer. The Dodgers loosen up with a pepper game on the sidelines. Sandy Koufax, always congenial and cooperative, chats easily with reporters. Earl Batty patiently awaits his turn in batting practice. Jim Cott and Sandy Koufax are the rival starters for the 3rd time in the series. And now it's a final showdown. The championship is at stake. And Minnesota fans turn out for a record crowd of over 50,000. The Twins take the field, and a long, exciting campaign culminates in one final climactic battle. Jim Cott gets ready for the first inning. With 2 out and Gilliam on second, Lou Johnson pokes a short fly to right. Oliva makes a fine catch. Lou Johnson leads off for Los Angeles in the 4th. With a count of 1-1, Johnson hammers a long drive down the left field line. It may be foul. No, it strikes the foul pole screen and drops back onto the field as Allison watches helplessly. It's the 2nd homer of the series for the 32-year-old veteran, who was hurriedly called up from the minors last spring when Tommy Davis, the team's leading hitter, fractured a leg. All season long, the aggressive, spirited outfielder was a vital factor in Dodger success. Jim Cott calmly rubs up a new ball. He winds up and pitches. And Ron Fairley slams the ball into the right field corner, where it caroms away from Oliva. And Ron has a stand-up double. Umpire Ed Hurley gets a new supply of baseballs. Parker, the next batter, looks for a sign from Coach Preston Gomez. With Mincher playing in for a possible bunt, Parker chops a high bouncer over his head. Oliva drops the ball as he starts to throw. And Ron Fairley slides home. Manager Mealy calls in Al Worthington to check the rally. The Dodgers lead 2-0. In the Minnesota 5th, Koufax gets ready to face Frank Quillisi with 1 out. Sandy delivers, and Quillisi wallops one off the fence in left center. The ball bounces high in the air, and by the time Johnson recovers, Quillisi has an easy double. Umpire Hurley enters a lineup change. Rich Rollins is pinch hitting for Worthington. Rollins draws a walk when Koufax has trouble keeping the ball down. With 2 men on and 1 out, and Koufax having control trouble, Alston goes out to relax him. Sandy gets his sign. Gilliam is on his toes at third. Sandy looks at second, pitches, and Versailles rips a drive toward third like a rifle shot. Gilliam makes a miraculous stop for a force out. Let's look at that again with the action slowed down. Gilliam shows lightning reflexes as he darts to the foul line to make a backhanded stab of the ball. But after being spun around, he nimbly recovers to step on third. It saves at least 1 run, perhaps 2. And the Dodgers still lead 2-0. In the Twins' 6th, Koufax whistles a pitch past Oliva. It's Sandy's 7th strikeout. The last half of the 9th, Koufax still has his shutout. With 1 out, Killebrew singles to left. Parker talks with Koufax. Koufax faces Earl Batty and fans him on the third pitch. Now Sandy is 1 out away from victory as Bob Allison steps into the batter's box representing the tying run. However, Koufax reaches back for one final burst of energy, and Allison fans. The Dodgers are the new world champions, coming back from 2 opening defeats to vanquish a powerful Minnesota team. In the end, it was the golden arm of Sandy Koufax that lifted them to that final dramatic triumph. It's the 4th World Series victory for manager Alston, a new National League record. And the scoreboard message goes for all fans everywhere. Indeed, it was a terrific season.